us to provide the range of meals that will ensure that they feed well. And I ask, what the man on the street, how is he feeding? The average man who is a worker, how is he feeding? In this society, we're not talking about other societies. In any case, you also find destitutes in even developed worlds. There are people who are destitutes in the US, there's a lot of destitutes in Europe. You know them. You've been there. So, when you talk about human rights, I can't understand. For us, of course, when you have a collection of people or a society or an institution, there are rules. Those rules are crafted because it takes into cognizance the fact that there are those who may be deviants within that structure. The question to ask is, for us in Operation Lafia Adule, those who go against the rules, are there measures to bring them back on course? That we have in place. Of course, thank God, one of you did ask issues of court martial. How did court martial come into it? It's because an offense has been committed. So we do not close our eyes to such issues. But then, if you don't have an understanding of those issues and you now come to accuse us, then of course, I believe that such positions, I believe they are preposterous. And I think it needs they have to have a rethink. I also know that there are a good number of Nigerians who, of course, are being used as tools to want to possibly destabilize, for whatever reason, I don't know, and so that we don't end up getting against. I want to believe that should suffice for that. Winning the peace. I have said that winning the peace is a multi-sectoral engagement. You have a part to play, I have a part to play. The military, even though, yes, we have won the war, but we're not completely leaving, but we're always saying that, look, the issues, the activities that must take priority are civil-led, essentially civil-led. As part of the questions asked, the issues of intelligence, having to interact with the community, reconstruction, and a whole lot of other things are embedded in it. So I see going forward that other agencies that need to ensure that the borders are taken care of, they must do their job. Reconstruction must take place. Roads must be rebuilt. Communities and sensitization of the entire populace. Even though, yes, of course, this interaction we're having is part of it, but again, there must be a more holistic approach where people will not must be told that, the society must be regulated. What you say at some point, yes, freedom of speech, but at the same time, where your freedom ends is where mine starts. You cannot now offend my sensibilities, all because you've been given right to say whatever you like. No. Societies must be educated to know what is right and what is wrong, and where you are going, against the mark. And I think that's precisely. It's not something I can tell you, just in one swoop. I think that as the dialogue continues, we'll be able to know the nuances, the various aspects of winning the peace. But I believe that we truly need to, because we need to build on the successes that we've gained in order for us to return back to our normal lives, especially in the parts of Nigeria. Soft targets. Again, do we have a plan? Of course, on a daily basis. Tomorrow I'm going to have a meeting with heads of other security agencies, in addition to all the commanders here, all geared towards ensuring that, of course, there's a plan. We're addressing that, and I just thought that's in relation to this question. Delay of 5 days. Well, of course, that we have opened the road. That we have opened the road does not mean that we want not to check. There are roadblocks. People need to be checked, because we also know that some people may want to take advantage of the fact that the roads are open. They think that our eyes are no longer on them. So that's the reason. It's not that it's intended to have people punishing, that not at all. Sheka and Kalabage, well, they'll just we will. If I know where he is, of course, I go to grab his balls. Persecution of the Boko Haram terrorists. I think I've also covered this up earlier on when I was talking about issue of fairness. I believe that the government will make a pronouncement on such issues. Bordering, I think you need to, on the issue of the persecution of the soldier, that of course I've also handled. Fairness, of course I said they are parallels, two poles. A professional is a professional. I can't see a lot of Boko Haram terrorists have killed my soldiers. That doesn't mean that when I see them, if I capture them alive, if they die in crossfire, fine. But not that after capturing them, I kill them extrajudicially. That I will not do. My commanders wouldn't do that, and that we will not. So there's not like issue of fairness. Memuna, Goza Bama Road. That's the only road left, you know that. You will get them opened very soon. I think I made that promise and time passed. That we'll do very shortly. Mike, everybody, what should we do as a nation? Of course, that I've also tried to itemize why talking about winning the peace. We as a nation, issues must be contextualized appropriately. I mean, institutions must be trusted. The military institution, for example, has been given a task. I think it behoves on every other Nigerian to trust the judgment of those who have been put in headship of those institutions, for them to know that, of course, if there are areas where I'm wrong as an individual, of course, I don't claim to be a perfect human being. All our commanders, there are those who may make mistake. But then, if we make mistake, let it be seen from the position of mistake. But if it was a deliberate attempt to do what is wrong, of course, go all out. I've told you before, I'm not asking you to cover me up. Don't cover us up. But then, because I said don't cover me up, you're not going to cook up stories that are not true, then of course, it's immoral of you to do that. And I think that your conscience should judge you, and posterity also will judge you if you do that. But for us as a people, as a nation, we must begin to give credible attention and support to those who have been entrusted with certain responsibilities for them to do what is needful. I don't know that. All right. Okay. All right. So let me, on that note, appreciate all of you once again. Well, we are making progress. This year promises to be good. That I can tell you.
You've been watching the live coverage of the Nigerian Army press briefing holding in Maiduguri, the capital of Borno State. We now continue with our usual programming.